you been, guys? Today we'll be talking about something that many of us saw coming. Trent Alexander-Arnold has obviously announced that he'll be leaving the club after 20 years, and as expected, he's leaving to Real Madrid. Now, this hurts and hurts a lot, not just because Trent's a great player, which obviously he is, but it's because he's a Scouser, a local lad who grew up minutes away from Anfield, who dreamt about wearing the famous red shirt and playing in front of a packed Anfield. Now he's lived the dream, and now he's choosing to walk away from it, which really, really hurts as a Liverpool fan. And it's it's tough to process, really. But we didn't see Trent as just another player. We saw him as one of us. Being a Scouser, we expect him to understand that playing for the club means so much more than playing anywhere else. But it seems that's not the case, and fair enough, because he wants a new challenge, which I personally can't, you know, understand. But that's him. He has the right to choose his path, and it hurts that bit more because we all expected him to go on to lead the club at some point, win trophies with the club, cement himself as one of the biggest legends the club has seen. But that's not what's going to happen, and he's chosen to walk away from the club, the city, his people, which is very, very, very disappointing because he was meant to achieve great things with us. At least we had high expectations for him, and he's let a lot of people down, which is really hurtful. Now, everybody can have their own opinion, but I just feel betrayed. And I have to put it out there that I personally think this is betrayal at its best, because he could have chose to sign a new contract, and if he really wanted to leave, he could have asked for a release clause in the contract, and you know that's easily solvable if he wanted to leave. But that's not the case, and he's chose to run down his contract and leave on a free, which is absolutely unacceptable for a club's vice captain, let alone someone's boyhood club. That's really, really disappointing, and I can't really justify for that, honestly. And for those of you who know, he was in LA signing Real Madrid jerseys a year or two ago, and that just shows that this is not something that has popped into his mind or creeped into his mind like just this season, and it has been running through his mind for quite some time, and it really shows. And I'm not only disappointed because of that, I'm disappointed that he didn't do better than some of the other players who came before him who wanted to leave as well. If you guys remember, Coutinho wanted to leave to his dream club, Barcelona. And fair enough, there's been so many Brazilians who represented Barcelona, and obviously being a Brazilian himself, it's fine for him to have Barcelona as a dream club. And many of us were upset, and many of us understood his decision. But Trent leaving on a free, you know, is unacceptable because Coutinho decided to extend his contract and got the club 40 odd million, which obviously we reinvested and got ourselves two massive legends that this club has seen, obviously in Virgil and Alisson Becker. So I can't wrap my head around why he couldn't do that. And for those people that are wishing him well, that's your opinion. But obviously, I do not stand with you on that, because he could have secured the club a decent amount of cash. This is a player that we are talking about, in the 100 million range at least, and because of how creative he is, his passing range, he's one of the best in his position, and obviously he has a glaring weakness, but that doesn't put his value down, at least. And to me, is I can't wrap my head around why he would suddenly want to leave, especially for a guy who has been saying that he sees himself playing for the club throughout his career and finishing his career at Liverpool. So I can't wrap my head around why he would suddenly want to leave. And as I said, maybe this decision wasn't sudden. Maybe he's been thinking about it for a long time, which obviously his defending sometimes has been absolutely absurd. And maybe because this was playing in his head and that's why he couldn't defend. Maybe. I don't know. Is that a reason? Well, I don't know. But, you know, it's absolutely horrible that he's choosing to walk away from all of this, and fans, his people, people who trusted him, who supported him through thick and thin when other rival fans were saying, this guy is absolutely trash, he can't defend, pundits having a go at him. But we've always backed him, and now he's just let all of us down because this is a guy that we had so much hope for, you know, thinking that this guy would be the heartbeat of the club for the next decade or so. But it's not went down that route, obviously, and he chose his path. He chose to walk away, and fair enough to him. That's his, it's his career, it's his choice. But obviously, you know, I don't want people to be telling Liverpool fans how we should be or should not be reacting, which you would only know how we feel if one of your own did it to you and your club. So it's absolutely absurd that you guys are telling us we should be reacting this way and whatnot, which is absolutely nuts because you guys don't have any rights to be telling us how we should be reacting because he at least was our player. So, only we know how much it hurts and whether or not, however, feeling is justified. And yeah, fair enough to him. And some people are wishing him good luck and all. Yeah, sure. There's of course there's everyone's gonna be having their own opinions. But my opinion is that, I feel betrayed and nobody is gonna change my opinion obviously, and I just he shows his path and whatever, but don't expect us to be, smiling year to year and giving him kisses and giving him flowers and sending him off to Madrid. Obviously we're not gonna be doing that. At least I won't be doing that. And that's because, many leave the club and chase greatness, but only a handful stay and cement themselves as one of the very big legends, biggest legends the club has seen. And obviously, he's not going to be part of that. And fair enough, that's his choice. He knows what he's leaving behind. And whatever it is, guys, life moves on, and Liverpool Football Club always finds a way to move on. So, yeah, the most important question now is, do Liverpool dip into the transfer market to find a first choice right back, or promote Conor Bradley to be the number one and find a replacement or a backup for him? So that's the most important question. And obviously, if you're new here, subscribe and show some love, and let me know your thoughts on this whole Trent situation in the comments below. And yeah, you'll never walk alone, and see you guys in the next one.